I'd like to call to order the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Meeting, Wednesday, September 18. It is 6:01 PM. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is I'm sorry, let me back off a second. Vanessa, would you call the roll?
Okay. Jenny Anderson, Dale Blinton,
Present.
Rodolfo Barrientos, Judy Hammerberg.
Here.
Michael Lanat,
Here.
Doreen C. Grant, Luciana Nibbs,
Present.
Rafael Gutierrez, Vanessa Cherry, present.
Oh, getting ahead of myself, sorry. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the Village's Code of Ordinances. The members of this board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and are not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance of or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court. And that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witness regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. If you intend to address the board and you haven't signed in, please do so. And anyone wanting to address the board, Please stand and raise your right hand. Vanessa will administer the oath.
Please stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Just an update. Doreen Grant, Code Compliance Board Department. This is an update for case number EEN 22-0383 for the property located at 826 Northeast 121st Street. This case was heard today before the Miami-Dade County and Safe Structure Board. The building official did present the case, however, attorneys for the respondent asked that the case be postponed by a month. So the case has been postponed by a month.
B-House.
The House.
I'll reserve comment. Thank you.
Right. I would like to see the minutes be moved to the end.
Oh, yeah. Vanessa, hon, please, if you would, always put the minutes at the end, because sometimes it takes us a little bit of time and it's not fair for these folks. Thank you. I want to add, if we could, a discussion item, the October meeting date.
October 16th?
Yes, but if one board, Dale's going to be absent, and if there's any way we can change it, but that's for the end. Ready for the first case?
Again, my name is Doreen Grant from the Code Compliance Board. I'm sorry, Code Compliance Department. First case is in old business. It's under 7.1 for the property located at 739 Northeast 118th Street. It's case number CEN 23-285 belonging to PRBP6 LLC in care of their registered agent, Rodon Law PLLC. We're bringing this case before the board because we found them to be in violation of Chapter 5.6 off-street parking for a driveway that does not meet design standards. They have applied for a permit. However, they haven't paid the $500 that's owing for the violation and administrative cost, and we're asking for an intent to lien.
But they have applied for the permit.
They have.
Comments from the board?
Just for the record, the permit that has been applied for is a permit for demolition. They will demolish the property and change the whole structure.
Oh, I remember this one, yeah.
2006 demolished because I saw the fines had stopped. So it stopped.
The daily fine did stop, however, the $500, which is for the violation and the administrative cost is still outstanding. I believe not.
Questions, I'll make a motion.
Any questions from the board? No, I'm good.
Right, on case number CEN -23-285, I would, make a motion to direct the village, to affirm the outstanding fine and administrative cost totaling $500 and to request move that the village move forward with filing a lien.
A second?
Shouldn't lien fees be added to that?
Filing fees.
So file the intent to, just to make sure we know your motion, file the intent to lien for the outstanding 500. Any applicable filing fees, and go ahead and process that.
Correct.
Okay, and before, Doreen, with regard to the building application that was on August 21st, like what's the status of that?
I haven't looked at the status of the application, but we can. It's DEM 24-6. We'll give you the update in a minute.
Because I mean, I thought that when this came up, the guy, wasn't like a guy that was here and he was saying that they're gonna demolish it and we're like, why are we gonna make them do that when
That's a different case.
there's a different one?
That was a different property,
Okay.
status of the permit.
On September 11th, 2024, we have plumbing plans review. Plans must be stamped and approved by Durham. So that's being currently held up in the building department.
So the permits are in process. They are waiting for Durham to approve.
Okay, so is this motion that is now gonna hit this guy for these, for fines for not getting a driveway done when we already know he's gonna demolish the building and he's in that process? I'm just trying to understand that. Is that what we're saying?
That's up to the board to decide.
At the time this was heard, none of that was present, I would imagine. This was already heard back
November.
in November, was it?
The notice of violation was November of last year. Apparently, bear with me.
I mean, I got no problem reaffirming what the,
Property changed hands after that, but the original violation was heard in August of 23. They had time to come into compliance before selling the property, and the property owner now has new plans. So
so this is a new property owner from when it was first.
they inherit
I have no problem reaffirming, but I'm just saying that
the property.
the understanding is that this thing is gonna get raised and they're gonna build something else. But we're gonna be fining them for not having a driveway in.
But we're not doing daily fines. This is just the fine for the original infraction.
For the reaffirmation. Okay,
Right.
and that's it. No continuing.
No, no.
Okay.
let me continue.
All right,
And
I understand.
this was the original owner, like some of them have come in and said, why am I gonna put a driveway up? I'm tearing the house out.
Exactly.
Right.
Got it,
This
got it.
is the original owners who simply ignored the notice of violation, hence the fine.
And we know that this notification for tonight was sent to the new owner, right?
Yes, it was.
And our staff is working on it. It's taking their time. The city should be reimbursed for it.
Yeah,
And if we don't lien the property, it's not going to be.
right. Yeah, no, I just wanted to understand the scope of it because, and I had a misunderstanding, so now I understand.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is under old business. It's item number 7.2 for the property located at 1103 Northeast 117th Street, case number CEN 23-447. The new owners of this property are Aqua King One RE LLC through their registered agent, Thomas G. Sherman, PA. We were bringing this case tonight for a progress report. However, they have applied for a permit. A permit has now been issued, and I would like to enter into the record permit number DWS 24-43 for a driveway. It would be up to the board if they want to continue this case for another progress report or close it altogether.
There is a copy of the building permit
That's correct. It's been issued.
issued, we're good?
They're good.
But if we close it and they don't go ahead and do it,
Am I correct?
so should we keep it open?
We would recite them.
I don't think we want to keep it open because they technically come into compliance.
Correct.
So if they don't, then it becomes a new case. Because right now, they've got a viable permit, they've complied.
'Cause I was at City Hall when a gentleman came in and said, I don't care, I'll take out the permit, I'm not putting a driveway in.
We've had several cases like that. However, if a permit is not issued, there's a difference between a permit being applied for and a permit being issued. This permit has been issued, meaning it's gone through the process and they're ready to build.
Get that, I totally understand what Judy's saying. Someone may rather pay the few hundred for the permit and just let it expire.
Right.
Then you guys will be back out there, but we can't continue a case that technically isn't
Okay.
compliant. But thank you, that's a very good point. So do I have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion on case number CN-23-4447, that they have come into compliance and to close the case.
Second,
Second. Michael.
So the second was Michael or Judy? Michael.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next case is item 7.3 for the address 11921-23 Northeast 12th Avenue. Case number is CEN-23-339 for Arlette Romaine and Eugene Pierre. This is a progress report for a driveway. The plans have now been approved. Arlette is not here today. She's just waiting to start building. She has an outstanding fine of $375. She paid $125 of the $500 that was assessed.
Last notation I'm seeing, she still had to bring in the pervious information. Did she do that?
She did that and the plans have been approved by Planning and Design.
Not
She did. Plans have been approved by Planning and Design.
good to go. Yeah, I did see that she's on this coming planning and design review. Now, the issue, of course, is there's still $375 outstanding. I would like to see us set a deadline for that $375 to be paid. If not, come back. This is, the way I understand it from the attorney is that we can't just say, start the lien process. It has to be essentially a hearing, and since it's not notated tonight
Right.
to file an intent to lien, I don't think that's the route we should take, but I would like to give a deadline and then say if she doesn't meet the deadline, bring it back in October's meeting
Right.
for the intent to lien.
Would you please speak in the mic, Madam Chair? We can hear you.
Okay, let me try that one again. Better?
Yes.
Thank you. According to the attorney, as I understood it, there has to be an actual hearing before even the intent to lien can be initiated. So since it's not agendized as an intent to lien tonight, I would like to make a motion that we set October 1st as her deadline for paying the remaining $375. If she doesn't, bring her back at the October meeting for the intent to lien.
Well, if I remember this resident neighbor, she's the one that had to get a new contractor and all that
That's
stuff.
correct. Yes.
And I think that looking at it, she made a partial payment of $125 like back in June 13th. So it sounded like finances were a very integral part of this process and the delay and all that stuff. I mean, you know, $375 is a lot of money. I remember that she was a nurse or something like that, or some kind of a caregiver. Yeah, obviously, you know, the money's owed, but, you know, as far as the leash and how long it is, you know, before we start leaning her house, I don't want to give her like 30 days and we're gonna start leaning your house. Maybe do a progress report in October.
I don't remember, we don't. I said if she doesn't pay it by, I'm sorry, my motion was that if she doesn't pay it by October 1st, we bring her back at October's meeting for the intent to lien hearing, when she has the time to come in and represent herself, explain, because it's still outstanding. I
No,
mean,
but that's 2 weeks.
paid.
That's 2 weeks.
My thought is that the village would just bring it back as they have on several cases when they saw fit to place a lien. Because if the property owner is cooperating and paying to get the permit and they're in the process, because will be having some costs incurred to pay for the permit, because it's not an expensive item just to pay for the permit.
You know,
I would rather let the village bring it back when they saw fit to request filing a lien, because if she doesn't pay, I know they'll be bringing it back for us instead of just.
may I ask
Approach.
Doreen to, if you would?
Absolutely, that's,
On the spot?
that sounds fine. We can keep following up with her to remind her to make the payments. If not, then we'll decide in maybe a couple months, 3 months to bring it back for intent to lien if she doesn't pay. I believe she will.
Right, Right, because it's.
She's working
He
on
has made the effort,
Be another whole story,
right?
so we could bring it all back at the same time.
Right.
Well,
Then we take no action this evening.
exactly.
So then your motion would be,
The motion would be we take no action, bring it back in October for an update.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
we have finished with old business and moving on to new business. First case under new business is case number item number 8.1 for 701 Northeast 119th Street for case number 24-501. This case was for a dumpster permit that wasn't obtained on a construction site. They have come into compliance as of this afternoon. They have obtained a permit.
I'm really glad to hear that because quite honestly, I couldn't find the dumpster in any of the pictures I had.
Isn't.
There's no dumpster,
The construction debris here.
no dumpster.
So the violation was for not having a dumpster,
Not having
correct?
Not having a.
Okay.
It says construction
Construction
dumpster in the front yard.
You're right. Where's the picture for the dumpster? We should have had a picture for it.
It's a picture.
Wasn't in the documentation, though.
No, the debris field in front of the house is in the picture.
Right.
But the,
All right, I will
okay.
apologize. Give us a minute.
Okay, they paid for a permit.
That's all that matters.
I saw the picture. Do you have it in the system?
If the dumpster has been, the permit's been, obtained, that's correct?
The permit was just obtained this afternoon, and I believe the property owner is here. Would you like to come to the podium?
Hello, hi, everyone.
If you would, ma'am, is that mic working now? Because it wasn't at the commission meeting.
Raphael.
What?
Yeah,
The-
take it
Speak into the mic.
Hello, hello, hello.
That works.
Yeah.
Well, if you would identify yourself and your relationship
How are
to the
you?
property.
My name is Agustina. I live right across the street. I'm the sister of the owner of the property.
So you-
You know, on the opposite side of the avenue or the street?
I live in 11990 120th Street.
Street, okay.
Yes. And that was right in the corner.
So the dumpster permit was paid for because
This afternoon.
the
Now,
the
uh,
description says dumpster in front of
correct.
yard, but
The-
we didn't have.
There was for one day, we didn't, it's the first time that we're doing construction. I live in the neighbor, but I didn't do construction. So it was there for one day. We took the trash out and we didn't know. So it's not there anymore, but
One more case, but did anyone like to make a motion on this particular case?
Or in case number CEN dash 24-50, I'd like to make a motion, to close the case, the permit's been applied for and paid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
There's one more case for the same address and same property owners. This is we're asking for an order of enforcement on violation for windows that were installed without permits. However, I'm looking at my notes here. They did apply for a permit and the permit is now in review.
yes, we were here the last hearing. We were approved. They made only
PND.
just one comment. We submitted all the drawings. They haven't built in the permit, I believe.
It's in review process by building.
Yes.
It was approved by P&D.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, it just says they're in review, but yeah.
so the next step is, how long does it take for them So it's well on its way to getting the permit.
The permit will be issued soon. It's in review by building. It's already passed through P&D and it's been approved. So a few more days, they have paid.
All right. Right.
Okay.
Well, if there are no other questions, I'd like to make a motion on case number CEN 24 508 that a violation had occurred. It's now in the process of having the permit issued and to fine a fine of $250 and the administrative costs of $250.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It is, it is.
Yeah?
Huh?
I think it's Millie's old house. I reckon.
The next case is 8.3. Address is 720 Northeast 117th Street for the case number CEN 24-381. Property owners Icon Capital LLC in care of the registered agent Jeffrey Kahn. We're asking for an order of enforcement. They were found to be in violation of section 8.4.31 property maintenance. This house needs to be painted.
Is the property owner here?
Property owner is not here, but we have been in contact with them.
And what say they?
They said they would comply, but they haven't.
I was to say the courtesy notice was in May.
Yeah.
And the notice of violation was issued in August the 8th. And as of September the 4th, it's overgrown even further, but that's not what we're here for.
You didn't get a response from Mr. Khan, Raphael, from that September 12th correspondence?
As of this morning, we have not heard from them.
We spoke to them on the phone and they're aware of all these violations.
Anybody?
In the email is the conversation this morning they contacted me and then I replied back to them and that's the copy of the email and then we never heard from them again.
Okay.
Would anybody are there any further questions from the board? Would anyone like to make a motion on the first case?
Sure. I'll make a motion on CEN 24-381 that a violation has occurred and that we assess a fee of $250 and $250 administrative.
You going to give them a date by which to apply to pull a permit?
This is on the paint. So for the next meeting,
Well, a permit, they're within it doesn't cost anything and they are
If they're within the colors,
within the colors.
yeah, you don't
So-
even go to P and Z.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't think we should have, it shouldn't be up to us to have.
Right.
but before our next meeting.
Well, because actually paint and or clean, so maybe they decide to pressure wash and maybe that brings them in compliance, so we could set a tighter deadline. Because that's one of the things the options they've been given, paint and or clean and maintain exterior wall.
Now, might I suggest, Judy, 3 weeks, which would give them enough time to obtain it and either paint it and clean it. That'd be October the 9th.
Okay, so let's say that they need to come into compliance by October the 9th, otherwise there's a $250 fine and $250 administrative.
And then
$250 violation fine and $250 administrative, but if they don't under compliance, then it's a $250 daily.
Daily.
Correct? Okay. I'll second. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.4 for the same address and same owners. This violation is for a fence maintenance in violation of section 11.6.7 ABDC. The fence on the right side of the property facing northeast 117th Street is in bad condition.
Is there a pool back there?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, yes.
And do we know whether the pool is fenced?
Yeah.
Those violations are coming after. The reason we issued this violation is for that very reason. There's a swimming pool in the back and we need security.
Okay.
Yeah, if there are no questions, I'd like to make a motion. In case number CEN -24-383, that a violation has occurred, assess a fine of $250 plus an administrative cost of $250. Comply by pulling a permit and hitting the fence or rectifying the issue by October the 9th, or a $250 a day fine thereafter.
Second for discussion.
Okay.
I don't know that that would require a permit just to replumb your fence.
No.
Right, they can correct that fence without a permit.
Oh,
If it's the pool. I'd like to
Right.
tighten that if
I
you could,
understand.
If you wouldn't mind.
I didn't know if the fence needed completely done. I just sort of saw that it was,
No, it
Uh,
looks like it just needs an adjustment.
just needs to be adjusted, then it's 18th to comply by, how long will it take you to get the notice of violence, findings order out?
Are we still scheduled for Friday?
Yes.
So I'm gonna have them early. I'm gonna have them Friday of this week. So they
And
will.
they're
have
mailed
it
out?
by mid next week. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay,
And considering that this is a safety issue, October 9 sounds good.
well, I wouldn't mind tightening it up till October the 2nd. That
Absolutely.
gives them
Yeah.
a full, week and a week and a half to come into compliance.
I think that's a very good idea.
So it's the same motion, but amended to strike the pull permit part.
Correct.
Rectify the situation by October the 2nd, or $250 a day fine thereafter.
And I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.5 for the same address and same owners. Case number CEN 24-596. They were found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1 B, C, and H, property maintenance. The driveway and walkway paved surface is showing signs of discoloration and cracks throughout the entire surface area.
Is anybody living at this house?
It's vacant.
Sure looks vacant.
Definitely will require permitting.
Yep.
Yes.
They, September the 30th, they would need to submit their documentation by week and a half.
That could be pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
October the 14th would be the next one. To have submitted for October.
is that your motion?
No, I was just giving out the
Yeah.
dates. I didn't know if anybody had any questions. If not, I'd make a motion.
Any other questions from the board? Dale's brought up the suggestion that we give them a deadline of October 14th to get all their paperwork in. That would get them on the 21st Planning and Design Review Board.
I'll second that.
Are there any fines?
Well, I haven't made the motion yet, but on case number CEN -24-596, find a violation, they're not in compliance, a violation has occurred. And assess a fine of $250 plus a $250 administrative cost. Apply for and pull a permit by October the 14th, or assess a fine of $250 per day.
I'm sorry, Judy seconded.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.6. Same address and same property owners. They were found to be in violation of section 11.9.1.3.5 swimming pools. This swimming pool is not screened by a fence and is unsafe.
Yes.
Any questions?
Hmm,
No? Okay,
go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion. In the case of CEN 24-652, a violation has occurred. Assess a $250 fine, $250 admin costs, compliance date of getting that pool screened in, secured, whether they put wood over it, whatever has to happen to make it secure, a deadline of 10/1 or $250 daily fine.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.7 for the same address and same property owners found to be in violation of section 11.9.6 swimming pools. The swimming pool is filled with water. I'll say they have had partial compliance. They pumped some of the water out, but there's a lot of murk on the bottom of the swimming pool, so we were not able to give them full compliance on this. We are asking for an order of enforcement considering the severity of the violation.
No.
Any questions? No?
All right, I'd like to make a motion on CEN 24-653 that a violation has occurred, that it's not, and assess a fine of $250, administrative costs of $250, comply by date to have the pool drained by October the 1st, if not a $250 per day fine thereafter.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.8 for the same address and same property owners. We're asking for an order of enforcement. We have found them in violation of section 8.4.7E, lot maintenance and cleanup. This property has provided a breeding ground for mosquitoes because of the swimming pool and has overgrowth over the pool. The pool had so much overgrowth, you couldn't see the swimming pool. They've moved some of the overgrowth, but the rest of the property is still overgrown.
Well, it still looks like it's filled with green pea soup. I mean, it's really bad.
We just ruled out, this one's basically for the property maintenance.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Any
Well,
questions? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, if not, I'd like to make a motion. In case number CEN 24-654, violation has occurred, assess a $250 fine, $250 administrative costs, give a compliance date of 10/1 to get that all cleaned up, or $250 daily.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.9 for the property located at 805 Northeast 115th Street. It's for case number CEN 24-316 for Daniel Lopez. This case is now in compliance. It was a violation for offense.
Yeah, I saw that it was in compliance. I was just wondering, when did it come in compliance?
Compliance date.
Oh, by the date, all right.
I can get the date for you, if you give me a second.
Well, if it was done by the compliance date, I'd like to make,
It complied by,
on case number CN 24 316, I find that the property is in compliance and would move to close.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
next item is 8.10 for the same property, 805 Northeast 115th Street. This is for case number CEN 24-450. We were going to ask for an order of enforcement for a driveway surface that has several cracks throughout. However, they came in today and applied for a permit. So they do have a driveway permit, and I would like to enter into the record permit number DWS 24-55.
There are no questions. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion on CEN 24-591, since they're in compliance with their permit, that we close the case.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is at 8.11. This is for the property located at 820 Northeast 118th Street. Case number CEN 24-591. Util Omar Romero and Beatrice Gonzalez. We are asking for an order of enforcement. We found them to be in violation of section 18.4, permitted days and hours of construction. They were working, installing a driveway outside of permitted hours. They started at 7:30 in the morning and disturbing their neighbors. We are asking for a $250 penalty for this violation.
Hi, everybody.
Second.
Aye.
Any questions from the board?
And just to remind us, the time that it's supposed to start is what, 8?
8 in the morning.
Okay.
If you would identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
My name is Beatrice. I'm the owner of the property. Sorry, my English is not perfect, so I'm sorry for that. So this is the situation. The builders left the material in my door the day before the violation. So the violation day, I woke up in the morning very early, and I saw the raining was coming hard. So I called the builders, asking them to come early to cover the materials, the sand and everything, because I was scared that all the materials that I pay and cost me a lot would be destroyed. So they came at 7:30 and they moved the material from one side to the other side. So the inspector came and knocked my door and explained to me about the time, the start time, that I didn't know that. I never saw any information about it. So I say, okay, that's fine. I can stop and that's it. I didn't know that it's a special situation because the rain was coming and I was trying to cover the materials. So he told me, okay, and I understand. They stop. The builders went to their cars. They was inside their cars waiting for 8 a.m. And minutes later, I saw the paper. So this is the situation. I'm so sorry for that. I didn't know that it wasn't a special situation.
Luciano, this is your case.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Did you tell me what you observed on the property when you got there? Was there actual construction work being done? Were they covering something to protect it from the rain? Was it raining? Can you kind of fill us in?
At that particular day, I was doing a sweep and I came across that property when I saw that there was a cement truck outside and it was actively tumbling. I also saw workers there in the driveway, putting down a driveway. There was concrete and they were smoothing it out. The weather at that time was looking murky, but it wasn't raining as yet. So I told the property owner they need to stop the work and resume it at 8 o'clock.
And we stop, right?
And they did stop.
Yeah, thank you.
I do see there is a photo of concrete being poured and
Yeah. Yeah, Luciano, so you're saying that when you went there that you saw the cement truck tumbling and you saw like this, looks like a guy's got a hose there. There was active concrete work that was being done?
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. So what he's saying is that he went there and it wasn't just picking up stuff and covering up sand and things so it wouldn't get wet. There was actually concrete being poured, meaning that work was being done.
I don't know anything about like construction or
You can see on that
anything.
last picture.
So maybe they was trying to do something that they wanna do it after that. I don't know. I don't know. The only thing that I know is I explained, you was the guy, right, to knock my door?
That is correct.
I told him, because he was very kind, and he explained to me what is happening, and I say, I didn't know that the rain was coming, and this is the only thing that I know, but I don't know anything about construction. If they was doing something, not trying to cover, trying to doing something early because the rain is coming or whatever, I didn't know that. I don't know.
So
anything.
contractors don't prepare, I'm sorry to interrupt you, contractors don't prepare concrete to pour when they see that the weather is getting bad. They were prepared to work. They were prepared to pour that concrete when he arrived at the property.
And the picture shows the hose pumping out concrete on one picture and the guys with the shovel trying to control the concrete.
I don't see anything.
But do
being
you know
covered
what?
up.
The worker was 20 days working in my home, working at the regular time because I have the regular permit. So for me, have not make sense that they work in an irregular time. It was a special moment because the rain was coming. I'm not trying to explain what they was doing, but I promise you, it was because the rain was coming and they was trying to do something because of that.
Ma'am, our times don't say, well, if it's gonna rain later, you can start at 7:30.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Gotta be fair to everybody, hence why enforcement for
Okay.
everybody.
I
the
understand,
way-
but do
the-
you know what? Can I say something for the future for another people? Maybe, because you send us 200 forms to understand everything about the construction.
Well, as a matter of fact, any
I didn't
major
see-
construction from here on out, part of what property owners will receive is a sign to hang on the property stating what all the hours are, stating where trucks can be parked. So that going forward is going to be for anything major, yes.
So what you say is inside the forms, this information?
It will be part of what you will be given at that time.
Okay, okay.
I believe it is a part of our forms. Isn't it a part of?
It is a part of the package that they receive, all the instructions and are in there. And it's also just common courtesy because before 8 o'clock, a lot of people are still sleeping.
I understand.
So
Me
a
too.
concrete truck makes a lot of noise and that's not fair for your neighbors.
I understand.
I mean, I just want to just make an observation because, Mr. Nibbs told us what his observations were. And Beatrice, I think that's how you introduce yourself, had advised that she instructed them to come and cover things up. But then when I asked her specifically if they were doing the things that Mr. Nibbs had observed and what appears to be what is going on in the picture, I mean, and she didn't know. I mean, I think Mr. Nibbs is, I don't know if it's testimony or his observations, they're unrebutted. In other words, that it was the tumbler was going on and there was concrete being poured. So, unfortunately, you didn't know what was being done there. So you said you had them coming for one purpose, but apparently they were doing another thing when they were there because they were doing more than just covering up, covering up materials,
Okay,
like
I
you
understand.
indicated.
And my neighborhood are so sweet, so I'm sorry for that. And he was really, really kind, so I'm sorry. It's the only thing that I can say.
I think we're ready for a motion. In case number CEN 24-591, a violation has occurred. Assess a $250 fine and close the case.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
No, right, that's simple. Yeah, no, in this case, it's
Exactly.
there's not an expensive
exactly.
thing.
So there was a fine.
$250.
250.
No,
It's at City Hall.
no, we're closed now.
You will get
Come
something.
tomorrow. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Next item is 8.12 for the property located at 835 Northeast 120th Street. This is for case number CEN 24-679. The property owner is 800 Home Realty LLC through their registered agent. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, but this is Alejandro. And the other owner is Gamma Products Worldwide LLC. We have found them to be in violation of Chapter 16.2 Development Permits. A permit was issued to renovate a property. However, a section that was denied by P&Z for the kitchen to be installed over a garage was installed after the fact. This violation was reported to us by the building official after he found information online of the property being advertised for sale with a kitchen installed over the driveway. We're asking for an order of enforcement because this is a repeat offense. The first violation was issued because the actual work that was done in the house was done without permits, was started without permits. And we are asking for a $500 violation fine and a daily fine of $50 if compliance is not achieved, or $500 if compliance is not achieved.
The documents the pictures we just received, it shows that it has been in compliance.
The pictures you're looking at were pictures that he sent this afternoon saying that they are in compliance. However, I cannot confirm this compliance because I'm looking at kitchen cabinets. And we have these situations happen in the village of Biscayne where people come to the board, they bring pictures like this. As soon as the case is closed, they put their appliances back and just go on. And we've had that issue with this particular respondent.
This is the
in the
second
past.
time for the same type of offense, and you see one of the building officials' emails. He had this discussion with them last year.
That's correct.
This was not a surprise that you don't pull a permit and then go make what you want. Not a surprise. So, no, and the building official's also very clear, everything has to come out, all the electric, the cabinets, everything.
Right.
Other questions?
So essentially with the setup over the garage, it was kind of like a duplex situation, is that?
I'm not sure what that was before. However, in that zoning district, they cannot have more than one living unit. They can have a grandma's bedroom sort of set up in the back, but they cannot have a kitchen. It's in a single-family zoning district and they cannot have two kitchens on that property.
And was the a kitchen ever applied for there and denied?
In the first application, he applied with a kitchen over the garage. Planning and Design Review Board was very clear. That cannot be done.
And then,
Submitted a second set of plans without the kitchen. Those plans were approved. However, he went back and installed the kitchen per the plans that were denied.
got it.
Good evening, Board. My name is Daniel Puello. I'm the owner of Gamma Products. I'm one of the owners, not Alejandro Sichela. He's actually home. His wife isn't feeling well. So I want to maybe take a step back. I think you guys have these pictures, correct? Okay, so we were issued this violation actually on Friday, not on Thursday, like it's saying. I was posted on Friday.
Correct.
I was actually present at the home when they were posted. I'm the owner of many properties in the park as well as Miami Shores. And, you know, we did apply for a permit with, and I could actually show you guys, what was approved was actually a new wet bar area. And so we do have the cabinetry approved. I spoke to Mr. Gage from the P and Z board on Monday. He expressed that his main concern was anything that was cooking related. Again, I don't oversee my properties. I have several of them. We have a GC, we have PMs on site. They did install these items. You know, we did call them out. As far as being a repeat offense, we've never been cited for this. We were cited for demolition without permits.
We cited you for the renovations that you started in that property, major renovations without permits.
Correct, demolition without permits.
No. not
No,
demolition.
that's a different violation. You were renovating that property without permits. I was there myself, I saw it.
Okay, but would it be a repeat offense with the kitchen?
So renovate,
Not permits.
I can
Repeat offense.
I can explain. So you were doing construction work at that property without permits. That kitchen was installed without permits. I can add the correct permit, but it was installed without a permit. You could have applied for a variance because it's outside of the code, but you didn't. So the main violation is doing work without permits. So that particular kitchen that you installed was done without permits.
This is the first offense. It was construction without permits.
Okay,
Not demolition without. permits.
okay. And then we did get approved. I did share this with Gage on Monday. The
Okay,
P and Z
please,
did approve,
Can I stop you for
okay.
just a second? The one who has the final authority as to what will make compliance is the building official. And the building official says very clearly,
We apologize, the problem with the alarm, it keeps going off.
all non-approved cabinets and appliances together with electrical cables that were not approved. So he is saying there's apparently cabinetry that's not approved either. And it's what the building official says is what it will take to come into compliance.
I would ask that you guys revise the cabinetry on the
No,
plan.
we will not revise that. What you will have to do, sir, is going to have another meeting with Pedro, the building official. You will sit down with him and show him, or bring him to the property, show him what you have constructed, and let him see if it matches the plans that were submitted. This is not how this works.
Let me just ask a question. I just, might be just confused. The second floor, which has been described as the kitchen, had all the appurtenances of a kitchen, you know, a stove and all that stuff.
Correct.
Is what you're saying, I guess, is testimony, because you swore to tell the truth at the
Yeah.
beginning. That this stove and all appliances that are related to a kitchen were put in without your approval?
They weren't, no, not without my approval. I don't oversee them. So yes, they were installed. All these things were purchased far, you know, back. So
And then at some point, once they were in, I'd assume you probably went up there and looked at it, or at least looked at the advertisement.
where my confusion came is we had several inspections and we actually passed all our final inspections, final building inspection, and received our CO July 29th.
That was not
They
there
were
when
revoked.
they passed the inspection. It was done after the fact.
I have pictures,
Well,
videos.
Pedro would have said that he reported this when he saw the advertisement. He knew what he closed and finalized, and it didn't match what he saw on the advertisement.
That's what the building official also says. He says, I met with the building inspectors and revoked the final inspections and approvals.
So just to understand what you're saying is that Pedro had done a final inspection on July 30th and provided the CO, but it didn't have a stove and refrigerator and all the other
The
appurtenances. of a
cabinetry,
kitchen?
because as is,
cabinetry.
as you hear him say, he says it was a wet bar. If you look at those pictures, this is a kitchen with plugs and everything that have now been covered, sealed to look like, that doesn't look like a wet bar to me. But however, Pedro said this is not what he issued the CO for. There was major changes that were made.
Were you there at the day that Pedro was going through?
No, I was not.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the water. Pedro's been beyond amazing through this process, honestly. We had some issues with our first contractor. He helped us sort it out. A very busy guy, and I appreciate his time. You know, I sent our electrician the second that we were posted this, which was right around 3:15 PM on Friday. I had it taken care of over the weekend. By Monday, it was, not only did we remove them, but everything, all the electrical, and I'd urge you to come inspect it, or Pedro or whoever, has been cut off. And then you can see the picture on the electrical panel. All the breakers were actually removed and capped off. So it is a non-working,
How about your advertisement? Did you change the
the
advertisement?
advertisement has been completely changed. Gage specified, we do not want dwellings in detached structures, so we changed, he said, can be a gym, can be a yoga gym, it can be a
Right.
workshop, it can be an office. So that was made very clear. That's been changed as well. We can submit it. The pictures were taken down that, you know, one of the pictures that showed the previous kitchen, the photography was taken weeks ago, if not months ago. So yeah, we're not trying to pull a fast one, you know,
I'm just a little surprised that you've been down this road before,
right.
not that long ago. Now here we are on that road again.
I'm sorry. I personally haven't. When I became aware of this, I live in Miami Shores, and hopefully I can become a resident of Biscayne Park with one of the other properties that we're getting ready to do. So, you
I
know,
have a question for the village,
Sure.
and, Doreen. Building official, they, are available Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Yes, they are. And just so he knows, this permit has been reopened. The CO is no longer valid. Until that's corrected, inspected, and passed, you cannot have anyone living in that house.
understood. The house is for sale. I think it's a
Sure.
gem compared to, you know, that house has been a blight in the community for 20 years.
Oh, I saw the house.
So
I saw the house and I heard your guys when they were working, when they started the work.
I understand.
However, I just needed you to know the CO is no longer valid. The building official has to come out there and do the
I'm-
final inspection.
I'm aware. We've had great traction from, you know, the community. We've got a lot of interest, and I don't think I have to say what this house represents in taxes to the community when it sells, you know.
But we're mixing
good
apples
job.
and oranges here. We're not debating the structure or that it's value or anything else. We're debating work. to be done
Violation.
on
Right,
this,
I just wanted
including
to clear-
electrical. That's where we are.
I wanted to clarify that, you know, we came into compliance within 24 hours of,
But that's
of,
not.
or we
determined
attempt, we're, you know, I'm trying to show how
yet. That
proactive
hasn't been determined yet.
I am,
Any
but
more questions or are we ready for a motion?
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Making a motion, Jamie? Sure.
Okay, in a CEN 24-679, a violation has occurred. Since this is a second violation, assess a $500 fine. And if, just as a sidebar for a moment, if you look at the last order of enforcement, we assessed a $500 administrative fee. Considering all the effort that has now gone into this, and this case is certainly not at its conclusion, I would like to put forward a $1,000 administrative fee. Give the property owner until September 30th to come into full compliance, or a $500 daily fine.
That gives,
I'll second that.
okay, for discussion, that gives 2 attempts for the building, manager to come in, inspect the property, correct?
Correct.
Well, Tuesday and Thursday.
Good point. yeah.
24th and the 26th.
26th, right. I would think he could probably make that.
Make it.
up.
Mhm.
Okay, and the building inspector has to come and like look at what he's done now and what it is like now and issue another CO?
That's correct. I will report this to the building official, the outcome of this meeting, and the building official will be happy to go there as soon as possible.
Okay, and if it's not in complaint, you've given them till September the 30th, and then what?
$500 daily fine. So I'll repeat my motion. Violation has occurred. It says a $500 fine, a $1,000 administrative fine. Give the property owner until September 30th to come into complete compliance, or a $500 daily fine.
I'll second it again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.13 for the property located at 960 Northeast 121st Street. This is for the case number CEN 24-453 for S&E Ventures Group, Inc., in care of their registered agent, Sebastian Maura. We were asking for an order of enforcement. Are they here today, the owner? You can go to the podium, sir. We were asking for an order of enforcement for the maintenance of a driveway and the swell area. But from what I understand, the property owner is here to present his plans for demolishing that building.
Good evening.
Bear with us just a second, sir. Let me see if board members have any questions.
I have no questions now that, will be submitting plans for
Yeah.
demolition buildings.
Yeah, I have no
like to hear
questions
from them.
either. Sir, if you would introduce yourself and your relationship to the property?
Definitely. I'm Sebastian Mora, and I'm a co-owner of the property. So my wife and I own the property.
And you're gonna raise the building and build something else there?
Yeah, so the plan is to demolish the building and we're gonna build brand new. We have the plans. Apparently, we met with a new contractor, and apparently, from what they understand with the code, there's some slight changes we need to make. So we're just finalizing. It's like almost done. Hopefully, by next month, November, the latest, we should be able to actually present and go through the official channels to open up the permit and then go through, the entire process. Yeah.
The house is empty now?
The house is completely empty. We've tried to fix up as much as we can, but the driveway is the last thing. So ideally, we wouldn't want to pay to do a brand new driveway because we're going to demolish it. Hopefully that's what we can come to a conclusion on and work it out. Yeah.
So you're planning to submit plans to, for a permit and to go before the Planning and Design Board within 30 days?
30, bleeding into November, the latest, I would say.
Say 60 to be fair, to give you a little cushion.
Yeah, a little cushion because, we have full-time work. so
You'll have to pardon my concern. As you drive around our city, I'm sure you see numerous projects in various states of limbo.
Yeah.
So I'm always a little bit leery as to, okay, you're gonna demolish and you've got to
Right.
get plans together, and now 6 or 8 months down the road, we're still having the same discussions. So are you comfortable that within 60 days, you will be in the process?
Yes, I need to. I even have all the plans here just to show our progress, but I don't want to take up time, but we should.
I'd like to give them if to apply go before P and Z by November the 8th.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
works.
mainly because that's one,
Starting
two,
point.
3, 4. That's 4 hearings.
And that's at least a starting
And
point,
that's
because
that's
we
all-
know, right,
that's a month
and a
and
half,
almost 2 months. It's less
Yeah.
than little shy of 2
about a
months.
month and a half.
Okay.
If I can just add a few things. I'm looking at the calendar for P and Z, and they're meeting on November the 4th and the 18th.
Right.
Okay.
So they have to have, October the.
They're meeting October.
Oh,
But he was,
I was just for them to apply, not
to
to
them
me.
for the apply.
For them to apply.
By November.
They don't apply by November the 8th. It's not going to be heard on December 2nd,
That's correct.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
No, it's November 25th for December 2nd.
Yes, November the 8th or November the 8th.
Yeah.
To apply by. Right?
Any questions, any objections? That's your motion? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Make a
well,
motion.
I'd like to make a motion on case number CN dash 453. Give the property owner until November the 8th to apply for a permit and to be heard before the Planning and Design Committee. If not, a $250 per day fine thereafter and administrative costs of $250.
But you're saying only if he doesn't.
Only if he doesn't
Gotcha.
apply.
Is enough
Okay.
time?
I hope so. That's what we're gonna do.
Well,
Yeah.
you can always
Make it
come
work.
back.
You can always
Okay.
come back
And
so
ask
and
for an
ask for an
extension.
extension, but
Okay,
we need to give you this kind of sense of urgency to
of
get it
course.
processed.
And I appreciate the
But again,
process.
You can
Yeah.
always come back and ask.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You have to apply for a permit and to be heard by November the 8th.
Okay.
If not, a $250 per day fine thereafter and a administrative cost fine, of $250.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Janie second?
No.
Michael. Next item is item 8.14, 8.14 for the address 11401 Northeast 8th Court. This is for case number CEN 24-122. Property appraiser information is protected. We are asking for an order of enforcement. We have found them to be in violation of section 8.4.5D. They have put storm shutters and protective window covers over the windows, which is not allowed per code. We had been in contact with the property owner. He asked for a continuance. We asked him to put it in writing, but he said he had no access to a computer. We were anticipating two witnesses who are his neighbors to come forward to speak against him. However, because of the inclement weather, they have not been able to come. I apologize for that. Oh, you can go to the podium. I'm so sorry. It's something. Oh,
She's quiet.
I apologize for that.
Any questions from the board?
None.
No.
If you would introduce yourself.
Surely. My name is Penny Seberg, and I live at 11339 Northeast 8th Court. This gentleman has been our neighbor for many, many years. We've been in our house more than 50 years. And we have had many, many complaints with code enforcement, and nothing has been done. The pieces of plywood that are on the bedroom windows, which face our house, have been there probably more than 25 years. The boards are rotten wood. The roof above it is falling apart.
Saw that.
He does have the lawn cut, but they only cut the front yard. They can't get to the side. They can't get to the back. There's a car in the backyard that's been there 20+ years. There is so much overgrowth. He has trees growing out of his roof.
Nobody's living there, right?
No, he's living there.
He's living there.
Yes, he is. Except when we knock on the door, he doesn't answer.
Is he disabled? Should someone?
The only thing that we were told many years ago was that he worked for the Miami Beach Police Department. Whether that was true or not, I don't know.
Well, it might be because his name.
His information is withheld.
That's why.
Very possible.
But the place is a disgrace.
I'm trying to imagine where this is. You're on the north side of that 8th Court, right? And 113,
On the east side.
the east side.
Uh-huh.
And then, but on the north side of that 8th Court, right? The 8th Court's got 113th going through it, right? No,
We're close to 115th.
115th. You're close to 115th.
Correct.
Okay,
115th and 113th, and we're right here.
okay. I'm trying to imagine this house. Can you even see it from the road? Can you see? Oh, this house. Okay, I didn't have the front view.
One that's like second in, third in, I think.
Uh-huh,
from-
second in. And everything is overgrown. Are just, he has a separate garage in the back. And everything, you can barely see the garage because there's so much overgrowth. And all of that stuff is growing over in our yard. My husband tries to keep it trimmed. It's really getting out of hand. Everything is just growing, especially now with the weather. I know Mr. Nips he comes by and takes a look every
Penny,
couple
I'm
of
gonna
weeks.
apologize for interrupting a second. Is it to the point yet where perhaps the village needs to look into doing something, because that's a health hazard? If it is that bad, or just what we're seeing, but can
There's a
you
tree
imagine
growing.
living next, if the backyard is completely out of control, we're talking vermin.
Listening to her
This is one with the
testimony,
two vans in the front. They got vans in,
Vans.
3 vans, right? Do they move? They stay in the, do they drive them? I mean,
One.
just
Usually
one?
drives one.
But I'm
the
concerned.
witness testimony is very important in making a determination on how the city can move forward. We have never seen the back. We've seen the front and we've taken pictures from the side.
You say there's a
Oh.
tree growing in his roof?
Yep, there's lots of trees growing out of his roof.
And now we're talking,
And actually,
safety
the
issue.
This
you
is a
can't
problem.
imagine it not be leaking because the wood on the side, the fascia, it's all rotten.
Yeah, you
It's
can-
falling down.
Yeah, that's visible in one of the photos we have.
And
Admit
we've
it,
had trouble with
seeing this
raccoons. I think they're
particular-
living there.
I was kind of surprised that that wasn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are not able to see this from the street, but your witness testimony is really important for us to determine how we can move forward.
Okay?
And your house is on the north side of it or the south side of it?
North of him.
You're on the north side, same side of the road, north, and it grows over into your yard and you can see in the back and you can see all that?
Yep.
Okay, there are no further questions. I think we're ready for a motion.
And the homeowner was notified to be here today, right?
He was notified, we spoke with him, and listening to her testimony, I understand why there was so much pushback. I asked him to put it in writing that he was asking for more time, but he pushed back. He had no email address. I need to use a fax. He pushed back really hard
Pushback on what? On providing written notice?
in providing something in writing to say he needed more time to clean up the property.
I wish.
25 years isn't enough.
Okay?
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Thank
If
you.
I may have a motion?
Sure. Oh, I thought you were gonna give them a.
Okay.
Do you need-
In CEN 24-122, a violation has occurred, assess a $250 fine, $250 admin fee, give a compliance date of October 1 for $250 daily.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next case is for the same address and the same owner. It's case number CEN 24-156, and we have found them in violation of section 8.4.7B, lot maintenance and cleanup. Excessive and unattended overgrowth, brush, branches, and other overgrowth in the rear of the property.
I think we've already had testimony of the,
Right.
Correct.
of the neighbor and testimony of the village, and it's obvious that it's overgrown, excessive overgrown, weeds and brush. And I would have liked to have seen something come before us with regards to the structure of the house
Mhm.
or the roof, but maybe that'll be in the future. But if there's no questions, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion.
Yes, please.
In case number CEN 24-156, that a violation, property is in violation of excessive undergrowth and weeds and brush on the property in the rear and sides, and to assess a fine of $250 plus administrative costs of $200, come into compliance.
250.
I mean, 250. Isn't that what I said? 250 and comply by October the 1st, if not a $250 per day fine thereafter.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is 8.16 for the address 11520 Northeast Eighth Avenue, case number CEN 24-322 for Neil Allen Tyler and Joan Tyler. We were going to ask for an order of enforcement. However, they have removed the vehicle and they are now in compliance.
They removed the vehicle when?
Or they have registered the vehicle. I apologize for that mix-up. They have now registered the vehicle.
Do you know when? So this took,
When did they register?
I was just noting.
Photograph is from today. September 13th is when we found.
Did I make a motion? Because I do see there was a courtesy notice and then a notice of violation, and we're here today, and they just done it. On case number CN 24-322, I'd like to make a motion that a violation had occurred, it's been rectified, they've now in compliance, but assess a administrative cost of $250.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is 8.17, 8.17, and it's for the address 11636 Northeast Seventh Avenue, case number CEN 24-623 for the property owners PRB PLLC in care of their registered agent, Rodon Law LLC. This case is now in compliance. They applied for a permit today, and I would like to enter onto the record permit number DMP-24-17 for the 16th. They applied for the permit on the 16th, yesterday, 2 days ago.
With a compliance date of August 19th. Do I have a motion? Sorry.
Okay, I can make a motion on CEN 24-623. A violation has occurred and to assess a $250 fine and a $250 administrative fine as they are in compliance now.
Well, the last time we just did, they came into compliance, we just did 250 fine only, not administrative. But what would be the difference here? I mean, I can see a 250 fine, I mean, you know, but I don't know about the admin, I mean, at least,
Okay, I can amend it. That's what people feel.
I was gonna say, I agree with Mike, because our first case under new business, we just assessed the admin
All right,
costs.
$250 administrative cost.
I'll second. All in favor?
aye.
Well, Bill, I'm sorry, but.
Seconded.
That is, once the fine's paid to close the case is normally how we phrase that, and I should have thought to say that. Okay.
Wow, that's it.
Those were all the cases we brought before the board tonight.
Now,
Minutes.
in a quick discussion. Has everybody had a chance to read the August minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Questions?
Personally, I thought they were very good.
I
Now-
did too.
Okay, and I was gonna move to approve the minutes.
Vanessa, it is not.
Vanessa
job.
on fire?
Yes, she is.
I'll
Aye.
second that.
Good job.
I'll second
Vanessa.
it.
Very proud of you.
All in favor of Vanessa being on fire, say aye. Aye.
Okay,
Passes 5-0.
okay, so minutes approved. I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I made the motion, Judy seconded.
Awesomeness.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Quick discussion. October's meeting is,
16th of October.
you would remember.
I will be out of town. I was going to ask for an excused absence.
I am too, actually.
Michael?
At my 40th high school reunion in New Hampshire, so I gotta go.
I really definitely want to change the meeting if we can, because essentially, I'm sorry, and I am saying this publicly, I cannot get any answer as to our so-called alternate. Ashlyn, if you're if you're listening, we'd like to have you here. So
We have an
I
alternate?
can't count on that alternate. If God forbid, one of the three of us gets sick with the two of you out, no, we got to try to move.
It's a me.
Let's see what we got. Because that almost happened, if you guys remember.
Oh, yeah.
You-
Oh, we sat here,
That almost happened.
and
So-
begged people to be patient, waiting for Rodolfo to get here.
Well, I will be out of the state from October the 11th through the 21st.
The 21st, would you,
I'm actually leaving on the 16th, so 16th, 17th, 18th, I'll be out. I'll be back.
how would October 23rd work for staff and for members?
I think I can do that.
I mean, we're not married to a Wednesday. It doesn't have to be, but I just went forward a
Do we have
week.
the meeting? Is the bit, is?
Ah,
room
thank
free?
you. I need to catch, you're right. I need to look at the city and see if there's something else up. Good catch. Hmm.
Unfortunately, October 23rd may not work very well because the next meeting would be the November the 6th. We only have a week in between to prepare.
November the 6th, was that early?
We have a lot of cases that we could, put them all till November the 6th.
I hate doing that.
We could do that. We could combine October with November.
Okay, how about,
2 meetings in November, although it gets close to Thanksgiving.
right,
Yeah,
that's the problem with
Thanksgiving.
that. And you're leaving on the, I'm sorry, Joe, you're leaving the 11th?
11th through the
Oh.
21st.
Thanksgiving is November 28th.
Judy, you said you were out the week of the
The
6th.
4th, I'm gonna be gone the 4th until the 13th, I think it is,
November,
October.
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 So
And my, I'm sorry, Judy, you're gone from when to when?
October 4th to the 13th.
Fourth.
Why don't we just roll everything to the November if there's enough, there's not enough where it's gonna be overwhelming?
We could do that. We could roll those cases. It will be a bigger agenda, and we could roll the cases over to November.
Okay.
Or-
I like that idea.
Okay,
because if we have, if we don't,
yeah,
we don't have enough time for next, I mean, in the first week of October.
that's the problem.
So-
If we move it too late in October, then
Exactly.
it gives them no turnaround time. And just because you know how I am about optics, I don't want anyone thinking we just didn't bother to have an October meeting. I'd like to see November's publicized as combined October-November meeting. Because in fact, we are doubling up, and I just want the public to realize that we're not just slapping things off. But yeah, I feel much better about that because knowing for sure 2 of you would be gone, God forbid, somebody's stuck in traffic or whatever.
So, given that our alternate hasn't, shown for hasn't been present at all, should we, somebody from the board, or does that need to come before us where we make the recommendation or ask the, did you find out if you're interested and then how do we get the commission, notify the commission to make a recommendation for replacement?
The commission appointed themselves liaisons to the different boards, and Jonathan is ours. And I've talked to him about that. I'm gonna have to give him a call back because he was supposed to look into it. You know, I'm not looking to be rude if the gentleman really wants to be involved. We welcome. him, but-
And we invite him to the November meeting to see where he stands.
Is an alternate supposed to come to the meetings?
Should have been coming to the meetings.
It shouldn't be a problem if this is something you really want to do. You would show up anyway. I was an alternate for years. But it's not required. Nowhere in the ordinance does it require of the alternate to be there, which basically renders the alternate useless.
Yeah, because you need to learn. I mean, it took me months to feel comfortable to even make a motion.
That's- So I did impart it to Jonathan, and I will follow up with Jonathan to see where we are.
One other thing. I know we had, there was a home on Griffin that, they come before us because they had installed a fence, basically gates, on Griffin and somewhat of a corner lot. And they removed it before, just prior to it coming before us. I noticed the fence, there's a gate there now.
Variance.
They went through a variance.
There was a variance. That's why I wanted to know if a variance was applied for.
It was approved.
Okay.
Started on.
Which one is that? My side of Griffin? Yours?
Your side of Griffin.
On that little corner, that little, yeah.
I mean, it looks nice. I just wanted to know if it was,
Yeah, they partially approved it. It's for Griffin, but they didn't approve for 111th Street.
right. It is a.
There's a
corner
lot
lot.
of backstory on that one.
That's fine. I mean, I just, as long as it was approved, variance, if that's what it, so be it.
And the property that they're building the new house on that was abandoned for a long period of time, that's where they're doing the new drain system, you know what I'm talking about? Next to Ross's place that they sold?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's up.
Yeah, I heard did they stop that for some time? Huh?
Is that David Coviello's old house?
No, his is the vacant lot next to it. It's just the one north. And was there some issue with that they built too close to the water at some point?